Most of us are itching to jump onto planes, trains, and automobiles for long-awaited trips. But of course, planning a vacation is about more than the sightseeing stops. Ashley Nguyen from Money Lobby is here now to talk about financial planning for your next big trip. And there are lots of places to go. Some of them are more expensive than others. Lots of things happening right now when it comes to travel. So if you're planning your getaways for 2022, what do you have for us to help us plan?
My two favorite topics, Tracy, financial literacy and traveling.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through some examples with you to really hit home on some of the topics I talk to my clients about. And the examples will help us run through those strategies. So the first I have for us is couples.
Yeah.
The second is a family of 4 traveling.
Yes.
And then the last piece is a solo traveler.
See, I want to do all of the above. Yeah. I want to do the couples trip, the family of 4, and the solo trip. So where do we start?
Okay, so I am, of course, a little bit of financial literacy. We're going to talk about a sinking fund.
Okay.
So the concept of a sinking fund is we are saving up a little bit of money at a time and putting it away to save up for a goal. And that's what a sinking fund is. It'll make more sense when we go through the examples, but it's going to help us not have to scramble last minute for money, pull from other goals that we might have, or even go into debt.
Right. Okay. We're trying to avoid all of that. So have the money waiting there so you can just tap into it. Let's start with our very first example. We've got a couple and they want to travel.
Yes. So this couple is going to Arizona.
Okay.
They're going to a boutique hotel in May. Okay. And so we have a little bit of breakdown on how to save up for this. Okay. So the overall cost of the trip is $5,550.
Okay.
Now, because they manage their finances separately, we're going to divide that cost by 2.
Okay.
Okay, so the cost of the trip is $2,775, just a little quick math.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we want to be able to save $693 per month.
Yeah.
Or $346 by paycheck. So they're every single paycheck, they're sweeping that into the sinking fund until they have enough money to book this trip.
Yes.
Now, there are 3 things that I think we can point out that is advantageous for this couple, okay? So the first is that they're going off season. So it's going to be cheaper than going, let's say, Christmas time or when the kids are off school, okay? There's also flexibility around flight time. So that'll help them save money when it comes to booking the trip. And then the last thing is that because they're splitting their finances, they're splitting the cost of the trip, apps like Splitwise will help them at the end of the trip decide, okay, well, you know, does one person owe money to the other person, as an example.
Yeah. Let's talk about the next group of people going, and that's the family of 4.
Okay, so this family of 4 is heading to Florida.
Nice.
And they're going in August, so obviously the kids are off school, so it's a little bit of a higher season, so they might actually need to book the trip earlier.
Okay.
The cool thing about this is that they're actually using travel points. So they're actually deducting some of the cost using these points. Obviously, you book for more people, it's more expensive. Kids come with a price tag, guys. But they're able to use some travel points. So it's a little bit of a discount, so they find a credit card that works for them.
Okay.
And then the last part of it is, well, when you're traveling with kids, sometimes it's just easier to make dinner or make food and not have to head out every single time. So they have a kitchen. It's also a lot more cost effective. So factoring that into your overall cost, okay?
Yes.
So in this case, they're actually saving $830 a month for 5 months leading up to the trip.
Okay. All right, and that's all they need to do. Like, just start early and save that money per month and they can get there.
Exactly.
Fantastic. I want to talk about the person doing a solo trip.
Okay.
Very exciting.
I feel a Tracy solo trip coming up. Okay, so so for this last example, we have a solo traveler. I think this is going to resonate with a lot of folks because, you know, some people during the pandemic decided to work from home elsewhere. So when you're traveling by yourself, there's more flexibility. Now, I checked in with a co-founder of Good Week & Co. who really helps us highlight curated places to stay and also some last-minute deals. And there's a lot of others who might be like them. And I asked the co-founder, what are some 3 tips that you would give us that would be savvy for a traveler? So for solo traveler, 1 is turn on notifications on social pages, because if they post something, you can jump on it right away.
Yeah.
Jumping right away also means acting a little bit on a whim. So obviously save up for it, but you can just book it when you're ready, right? When something comes up. And the very last one is not being married to specific dates. So, you know, if you're married to Valentine's Day, then it's going to be a little bit more expensive.
and the math here with the sinking fund?
Okay, so this example specifically, we're doing it a little bit different. So rather than working backwards and saving up a little bit at a time in order to save for a specific amount, we're actually just chucking away $300 each paycheck.
Okay.
So that when you have enough money and you're ready to rock and roll, you can just book the trip.
Okay, I love that, and I love the flexibility that it takes to do that sort of on your own. If you don't have the money for the trip,
I mean, so the big thing about the sinking fund, the big point of it is it's part of your bigger picture. So when you have your whole monthly budget, if it works out and you can save a little bit at a time in order to get there, that's great. But if it's not attainable, either push out your trip or figure out other things you can cut out in order to get there. So it's part of your bigger picture at the end of the day.
Very good, Ashley. Great tip.